Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Austin OKEKE, and I'll be your presenter for today. Today's topic is This meeting is being recorded. How Linux powers modern infrastructure from your phone to the cloud. Linux is everywhere. Um, so here's what we'll cover today. We start with the basics and what Linux actually is. Then we move into where you encounter it every day, life. And from there, we look into the business, why businesses choose it, and then after that, we move into the Linux and the cloud. So, and after that, we wrap it up with the security and reliability and key takeaways. So what is Linux? Let me give you a simple explanation to this. Think about a car. Can you still hear me? Am I still audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Okay, thank you. So I'll give you a simple explanation to this. So think about a car. When you get in and drive, you don't think about the engine, you just drive. But without that engine, the car goes nowhere. So Linux is the engine of modern technology. It is an operating system, the cool software that sits underneath everything else that makes computer servers and devices actually run. So Linux was created in 1991 by a Finnish student, and his name is Linus Torvalds. We built it as a free alternative to the expensive operating system that existed at the time. So what made it truly special is that he made it open source. So which means anyone in the world could look at the code, improve it, and share it. So imagine a recipe that anyone can read, tweak, or even make it better. That is Linux. And because it is completely free, companies around the world has adopted to it on a massive scale. When it's free and it has everything the company needs, so the company has adopted to it on a massive scale since Linux has been existed since 1991. So go to the next slide. So Linux in the real world. So here is where it gets interesting because Linux isn't just something that exists in the background. You interact with it every day. You just don't know it. So we have the internet, which is um where you search something on the Google and you get a response. And you get a response. That is the Linux server responding to you. Or when you scroll through Instagram or watch a video on YouTube, that is Linux running everything in the background. Well, you don't know. So we have the smartphone, even your smartphone. When you open your phone this morning, you might be using an Android. When you open it this morning, you are literally using Linux because Android is built on Linux kernel, which means 71% of all smartphones in the whole world run on it. And it doesn't just stop there. So when it comes to cloud services, over 90% of all cloud computing workloads run on Linux. And here is one thing that um, always surprises people when we talk about Linux. Over 100% of the world's top 500 supercomputers, including those used by NASA, um, and CRM, all they all run on Linux. Every single one. So that is the definition of the Linux in the real world. So I'm going to go over to the next slide. So why company choose Linux? So why the company choose Linux? So let me just frame this as a business decision rather than a technical one because that is what it really is. Um, the first reason is cost. Linux is free. If a company is running, let's just say a company is running over 10,000 servers and a competing operating system charges over 500 dollar per server, which is per year in a licensing fees. That is over um, 5 million $5 million per year. You understand? So Linux costs nothing. So that alone is a very compelling business case. So we have the second one, which is the stability. Linux servers they can run for years without needing to be restarted. It can be running everything you need without you needing to restart the system, you know, restarting it after updating or others. You don't need to do others because Linux is very stable. That is why most big organizations use it. So let's think about a bank's ATM network or a hospital patient monitoring system. They simply cannot go down. So Linux makes that level of reliability possible. So security is another factor because the code is open and visible to the world. So thousands of security experts are constantly reviewing it. So when a vulnerability is found, it is patched within hours. It doesn't need to wait for weeks, for days to fix it. It can be fixed patched within hours. So companies can strip and they can strip Linux down and customize it to their exact needs. No bloatware, no unnecessary features, just exactly what they need. So when it comes to performance and scale, Linux handles workloads efficiently. It can scale from a tiny Raspberry Pi to the world's largest computers. I've explained this, which is the massive community. So millions of developers around the world they contribute to the fixes, features, tools, progress gets solved fast. And I explain this feasibility too. Understand? So we're going to go over to the next slide. So Linux in the cloud. So Linux, let me be direct about this one. So Linux runs on cloud on Linux. I mean the cloud runs on Linux. Over 90% of all cloud workloads run on Linux. When people talk about moving to the cloud, what that actually means under the hood is moving moving Linux running on someone's else computer. So when you rent computing power from Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, are you almost always getting a Linux virtual machine. So when it comes to the technologies that makes modern cloud applications work, Docker, Kubernetes, containers, all of these were built on Linux. So when a Netflix serves you a show, it's running inside a container on a Linux machines in data centers around the world. And when you play song on Spotify, same thing happen. Even Microsoft and even the Linux biggest competitor, which is Windows, they now run they run more virtual machines, the Microsoft, they run more virtual machines on their own hardware cloud than Windows ones. So this tells you everything you need to know about Linux. So Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Cloud, they all offer Linux as their primary operating system. So what's the next? And we have Linux and DevOps and automation. So because it connects where industry is reading, modern infrastructure doesn't just run Linux. It is automated through Linux. The tools that the engineer use to manage thousands of servers, deploy applications, and keep everything running smoothly. They are all built around Linux capabilities. Even Linux enables shell scripting and Bash lets you write simple scripts that automate tasks that would otherwise take hours. So we have clone jobs. They let you schedule tasks to run automatically at set times. And this system ND timers, which is our advanced service, is similar to clone jobs, which is our advanced. We have the SSH automation. SSH automation lets engineers securely control the new servers at scale without touching them physically. And then we have the CI/CD pipelines. Um, Even Linux, they automate build, test, deploy. You can all do this. Linux enables all this. You need this possible. So we have the tools built around Linux. Ansible automates server configuration across thousands of machines at once. And we have Terraform. Terraform lets you build entire cloud infrastructure using code. We also have Jenkins. Jenkins automates the process of building, testing, and deploying software every time a developer makes a change. All these tools live and based on Linux. So the bottom line is without Linux, modern DevOps culture would not exist. On to the next slide, we have the enterprise Linux, the business side. So now I mentioned that Linux is free, and that it is. Um, but here's an important thing that you need to know about Linux. We have the many large organizations just download Linux and use it as it is. They pay for the enterprise distributions. Commercial versions of Linux that time come with professional support, long-term security guarantees, compliance certifications. The three biggest are Red Hat and Red Hat Enterprise Linux. It is being backed by IBM and considered the gold standard for big organizations. So we have the Ubuntu, Ubuntu from Canonical, um, which is hugely popular in cloud and developer environments, and even SUSE Linux Enterprise, which is popular in European business and as SAP environments. So why would the company pay for something that is free? Because that is because when your production system goes down at 3 a.m., you need someone to call. You need someone to call that my system goes off, even though it's very stable. When companies are using the enterprise distributions, which is they are mostly used in production environments and all that. So when it goes down, they don't need to be panicking. They have someone they call 24/7. Understand? So so back to that, you go for why companies pay for it. You have the pay support, the long-term security updates. So um this we have the compliance certifications. I've mentioned that they meet the ISO, the SOC2, the NIPA and government requirements. We have the enterprise grade stability. Through tested uses multiple support cycles. So we over go to the next one, which is the security and reliability. Um, Two of the most important qualities any infrastructures need are security and reliability. Linux delivers on both of them. So on the security side, the open source nature of Linux is actually its greatest strength because the code is public. It has been reviewed by security experts all over the world for decades. So when before it's discovered, there is a global community ready to fix it, usually within hours compared to the closed system where only one company internal team is looking for problems. So Linux has far fewer viruses and malware waiting for it than other operating systems. It is trusted by governments, militaries, and financial institutions worldwide. On the liability side, Linux servers can run for 5 years to 10 years without a single restart. So this is the operating system covering ATM. When you want to withdraw money, the MTN, the ATM Linux is the one powering it. Linux stock exchange, the air traffic control systems, International Space Station actually switched to Linux in 2023. I mean 2013 because of its reliability. And in the enterprise environment, 99.999% of time, um, what is known as 5 times means, which means less than 5 minutes of downtime per year. It makes that achievable. So the next one. So I have the key takeaways. So Linux is everywhere, your phone, the internet, the cloud, and critical infrastructure all run on it. It is free, open source, and backed by one of the largest developer communities in history. So companies choose Linux for cost saving, stability, security, and flexibility. And the cloud and DevOps are built on Linux, from Docker to Kubernetes to CI/CD pipelines. Um, the enterprise distributions like Red Hat, Ubuntu show that Linux is both free and commercially mature. Understanding Linux helps you understand why um, modern technology is so fast, reliable, and scalable. So Linux is not just an operating system; it is the foundation of modern digital world. Thank you. Um, that is everything. Thank you so much.